I tried every game of the year ever. Pre-Fire the Like. This is a cool concept
My name's Casey, and
as an
today
idea.
I'm playing every game of the year ever made to see which of these games is considered the greatest of all time, aka
I'm curious if I've even played every game of the year here.
the GOAT. And we're gonna start with the first game to ever win Game of the Year. Welcome
2014?
to 2014, a time when celebrities...
Is that true? I thought Game of the Year, because I thought we had Game of the Year editions, like the PlayStation 2 games with the red. No, you know what it was? The red cases had the greatest hits versions
We're throwing
on the
ice
PlayStation
buckets at
2
each
and
other
3.
and taking the weirdest selfies ever. But also, the Game Awards gives Dragon Age Inquisition their
Bro, looks
first
really
ever Game of
nice.
the Year award.
The winner is Dragon Age Inquisition.
Here's the basic premise. A big old explosion
I
happens,
really thought
which
this shit was going on
opens
for
up.
way longer. Like, I thought the Game Awards was going on for way longer. And I thought like E3 was like a huge part of that at one point.
A rift and lets in a bunch of disgusting
Well,
demons.
I know
And it's
I've
your
played
job
Dragon Age Inquisition before. I didn't really like it that much. Like, I thought it was okay when I was playing it back in like 2014, 2015-ish timeline. I just remember it starting off strong, and somewhere in the middle, I got so fucking bored, and I just had to drop
the
that shit.
Inquisitor to seal said rift. Oh my god, this is my character.
Yeah, bro, I remember
Dude,
that. I
it's
remember having a lot of fun with the combat in this game, though.
And you have to remember that this game is the first one that happened immediately after the founders left after the insane reception they got for the ending of Mass Effect 3, which means the
Oh, no
BioWare team
way.
has a lot to prove.
We just finished level 3 and need to tighten up the graphics a little bit.
Great.
But before I show you how they did, we need to go over the rules. At the end of
Ben?
every day, I must rank every single game of the year to help us find the greatest of...
That's a pretty cool concept. So, for rule number 1, he has to spend an entire day with every game of the year. That's good. That's very fair.
Allocate a full day for every single game of the year. Because rule number 2, at the end of every day, I must rank every single game of the year to...
Damn, just based off of this list right here, Last of Us Part 2, I've been really negotiating with myself on should I revisit that, because I have not replayed Last of Us Part 2. Man. Last of Us Part 2 is a hard pill to swallow for me, man. Offing Joel in the beginning, the way that they did it is just sits wrong with me every single time. And it's not the fact that they offed him, it's just the way that they did it. It's the shit that I talk about with like Legend of Korra. Cool concept, like Joel's not being the good guy and stuff. Poor execution. And in a situation where you have very beloved characters, it just doesn't go out well. It doesn't go out well. And then you try to force us to play with Abby. It just doesn't ring well, you know. You have the person like myself and a lot of people that had an attachment to Joel, and then you just say, all right, here, play as Abby to get us to like the character. No, bro. I remember watching Dante play through a lot of the game, and him just every opportunity that he wanted, anything that he felt, he would just let Abby die so he could see the death animations and just feel that type of ease. And then it was dragging. One of the things that I definitely didn't like about Last of Us Part 2 is that it dragged, man. It dragged, dog. You get through the first portion of the game playing as Ellie, and you get to this climactic moment just for it to say, okay, now let's start the roller coaster all the way back over. We're going to start all the way from the bottom. It's not like, okay, we're up here and we're going to bring you down here. It's like they teleport you down. You don't get a ride down. You just go all the way up, teleport. Now you got to go back up this whole thing again. Except going up it is like way steeper and has like weird humps and hills along the the track upwards. That's how it felt like playing with Abby. And then they just throw in these weird corners and curves. Like, it's not a regular exposition curve line. No, the graph for playing with Abby was horrendous. Okay, I've always said that my biggest issue with Last of Us Part 2 was the pacing. But that being said, there is a lot of mature elements in there. And when that game came out, obviously I was a lot younger. and wasn't able to articulate my thoughts the way that I am now and how I feel about the game. So I'm curious on if I'll like the game a little bit better with the knowledge of what I have and the maturity level that I'm at. But then again, it's just like, poor execution is poor execution. But I can only say that from what I experienced when the game came out, because I was one of the people that played it day one, pre-ordered that bitch, you know? Astrobot, never got a chance to play that. Baldur's Gate 3, still haven't gotten a good chance to play that yet. Like, I've watched a lot of gameplay for it, and it's always seemed like a cool concept, and I really want to try to get Dominic. You've seen me play games with him on the channel before. I really want to try to get me and him to play this game together, or, you know, just let that be a game that my wife and I try or something. Say, like how I do It Takes Two. Excuse me. I don't remember It Takes Two winning Game of the Year. Sorry, excuse me on that. Sekiro, I've been wanting to revisit Sekiro on the channel for a long time, and just in general, Sekiro was one of the first games that I considered even putting a video out on. So it's just weird. And also, Sekiro, such a generational game, and then he added in all these outfits, and I don't know, you know, I just have like an attachment to Sekiro, but I never got a chance to like sit down and say, hey, I'm gonna play it again. I never beat Elden Ring. Wherever, if you go on my main channel, wherever I stopped streaming at, that's basically where I stopped, because I wanted to stream the entire game, but I was having an issue with streaming at the time, and streaming the first, like, I don't know, just streaming the game became an issue at some point, and it would constantly like cut in and out of stream. So I got fed up and I was like, fuck yeah, I'll just drop the game. But it's one of those games where I hear a lot about, I've seen a lot, and because I've played literally every Dark Souls and beaten every Dark Souls except 2 was too boring. I had to drop it. Sorry. I know a lot of people like 2, but majority of people don't like to. Anyways, I've played all of these different Souls-likes and blah, blah, blah. Elden Ring is the one Souls-like that I've played and I've genuinely dropped outside of Dark Souls 2. Obviously, Elden Ring isn't a Souls-like per se because it's made from Software, but you get what I mean. Exposition 33, haven't beaten the game, got to like the first chapter or 2, was going to put that into a YouTube video. Time just got away from me. God of War, definitely deserved Game of the year that it won, 2018. And that was tough because God of War was between that and Spider-Man, I think. Both of those were fucking crushers, man. Banging. Never played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or what was the new one that they did in the same style? I don't have a Switch, so I've never like actually played it. Like, I guess I've gone over to a friend's house and he has the game, so yes, technically I've played the game, right? Just on that basis, but I've not actually myself like owned the game to play it and beat it or play to completion, if that makes sense. So I don't really count it as like me really playing the game. Yes, I've played the game, but I've not like sat down and like really played the game. That's how I feel about it.
Help us find the greatest of all time, aka the GOAT. And rule number 3, I must play every game of the year.
It's hard to quantify, honestly. I know I'm yapping, I know I'm pausing a lot. It's hard to quantify what's the actual GOAT, because not just because it's subjective, but literally different genres. I guess you could kind of gauge it on a scale of like, what does each game do independently? What does each thing do better than the other game? Like, you can compare stories to stories, gameplay mechanics to mechanics, but when you're talking about Astrobot versus God of War, they're two completely different styles of games. So how can you say Astrobot is the greatest game of all time through this experiment of playing each game of the year versus like another game? You know what I mean? Astrobot is probably better off going against like a Mario or Mario Odyssey than a God of War. But since his whole concept of the video is I'm gonna play every game of the year ever since 2014 and then decide what's the GOAT, the actual greatest of all time, it really makes you think, like, what are the parameters he's going to really judge these games off of? Because a lot of these games play vastly different and are entirely different genres of games.
On the original console it released on. That way I'll be playing the game exactly as the Game Awards did, including my launch PS4.
The jet engine.
Now, Dragon
The
Age
jet
Inquisition
engine.
may not look like much today, but back then, these graphics were absolutely goose-tastic. I mean,
No,
this
I
main
remember
menu's
Dragon Age Inquisition doing really well. I remember it being one of the best sold games ever, like for the Dragon Age games.
screen blew
And
my
it was
mind.
when EA wasn't an absolute shit-tard, man. 2014 was probably the curve of when they started going straight downhill.
Killing the dragons was like the best thing ever, and this character creator couldn't be any more realistic. Oh my god, bro's a Chad. But what always made the BioWare games so freaking fantastic was the concept of the dialogue wheel, which they made insanely popular in the Mass Effect games, allowing you as the
But they fucking butchered it in Mass Effect Andromeda.
character to steer the narrative in directions that you wanted based off how you were feeling, and doing so caused an impact on
I also heard that the new Dragon Age game was like terrible, bro. Terrible writing. They tried to pull in some of that new age bullshit, you know?
other characters, whether they liked you or not. But
Bro,
you
I
might
gotta
be
stop
wondering
pausing. I'm
what
sorry.
this
We're 2
game
minutes
didn't
into the
get
actual
right.
video.
Honestly, not much. It's a classic video game RPG where you kill a bunch of dragons, you level up, and you use 6 spells. It's a little dated for the time, but overall, what's not to love? What's crazy is there's no sprint in the game, and somehow, I'm surviving. So the main question I'm sure we all want to know is, did the Game Awards get it right? Personally, my heart has to go to Hearthstone given how much it really affected the game.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If these were the nominees, I mean, obviously I forgot. These are the nominees. I think Bayonetta is better than every game up there. Shadow of Mordor, though, had a generational concept behind it. The Nemesis AI, that like come on. That shit still is looked at as just a great concept that they have a patent on. Like, we can't do anything with it. Like, WB, come on, man, put that shit in more games. What the fuck are y'all doing? Dark Souls 2, y'all already know how I feel about that. Come on, man. The whole world has like a pretty unified look on Dark Souls 2 to a certain degree. Hearthstone, it's Hearthstone, you know? It's Hearthstone. It's not bad. I personally just wouldn't put it above any of these other games up here. But it's extremely enjoyable. Like, it's very replayable as well. I gotta say, though, oh, that's Bayonetta 2. I don't remember the second one like that. The first game, though, never mind. I eat my words. Hearthstone might be the best game up there.
Industry. But that being said,
Yeah,
Dragon Age
yeah, Hearthstone might be the best game up there.
is still
Now
a
that I
wonderful
look at
time.
it,
So
I don't
let's
remember
rank this
Bayonetta
thing.
2. I'm sorry.
Now this is the first game of the year we've played so far, and I got
Damn, bro, I still have my disc right behind me. Right behind me. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I still have my disc. PlayStation, bring back physical media. Y'all see, I have a collection behind me. Those are physical discs, anime collections, collector editions of stuff. And down here, like down right behind me, over there in that little section right there, or this little section right here, got a bunch of shit down there as well. I have an entire cabinet full of things in the living room. Oh man, I have physical media fucking everywhere. Come on, PlayStation, Sony, come on. I'm like, come on, man.
gotta say I had a fantastic time, but because it is our first, it automatically goes to rank 1, at least for now. Good job, Dragon
Oh, okay,
Age
so you're
Inquisition.
gonna get a
You know
chance
what's
to
even better? Playing
redo them.
Henry Cavill's favorite game. Welcome to 2015, a time
2015, yeah, this was I do remember this year being a stacked year, brother. Holy fuck. The Witcher 3 is in rotation to this day. However, I was heavily influenced by Batman Arkham Knight. That shit looks insane to this day. Batman Arkham Knight looks better than some of the games that are released now. Witcher 3 looks a little dated when putting it up against Batman Arkham Knight. Visually, just that alone. And it had a really substantial story for Batman games, definitely wrapping up the trilogy. Really did a good job. But 2015 in general just had a really great year. However, I say all that to say, Witcher 3, let's see the nominees, bro. We'll talk about it.
Thing was a dress
Witcher
that
3
sort of
is
looked
just,
blue, and Star
oh my
Wars
gosh,
was still somewhat respected.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
But also, The Witcher 3 wins Game of the Year. Surprising, absolutely.
bro. The Witcher 3 is gas. The Witcher 3 is just one of those games where you play it and you just get it. Somebody says, this was good Game of the Year. You say, I understand.
Absolutely no one, except for me, because it never clicked for me, and I feel really bad about that, and I can feel your judgment from the other side. And
Yo, you have a day with the game. I will say maybe a day is not enough to get really your feet wet with The Witcher.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna give it the old college try for like the 4th time today. I'm very excited, and I need you all to pray for me. Now, for those of you who don't know, The Witcher 3 follows the famous monster slayer, Geralt of Rivia.
One thing that I really got to praise Witcher for, that I really feel a lot of other developers don't do a great job at, is sequel. What would be the best way to say this? They don't sequel bait. There was no part of the marketing, at least in my mind, that really banked on saying, hey, this is the 3rd iteration of playing Geralt's Witcher. This is the 3rd iteration of playing as Geralt. They just marketed this shit as like, heavy RPG. This is Witcher 3. We're back. Story continues. When you sit down and play the game, you don't have to have any knowledge of who Geralt of Rivia is. You don't have to have any knowledge of of all the past monsters that he's faced. If you go back and do your history and either play those games or watch a YouTube video on the first 2 Witcher games, that shit hits home even more when you play it and you see, wow, this is a massive upgrade since the first 2 games. And it's kind of just love and eye candy for the Witcher fans of both the novels and the game. But you don't have to have, any of that knowledge. A lot of modern devs bank on you having previous knowledge of their last games or the last time this character was shown, because they try to do inside jokes all the time. They try to nod the story with a lot of context-based things, like, oh, you don't get it if you didn't play the other one, so it just goes over people's heads. Where this, it does have a lot of moments like that, but it takes its time to explain a lot of the shit that's going on in the game, and it does a very great job of setting up the world building. You get a chance to dive into the Witcher universe through Wild Hunt. You go into Witcher 3 and you will learn about Witcher universe, whereas you go into, I don't know, random game number 3 and you don't learn about the universe. You just learn a little bit about your character and with that portion of the story. You learn a lot about Geralt through this game. You learn a lot about Witchers through this game and how the world operates with and around them. And it's just such a fantastic game. The DLCs stacked up really well. The RPG elements are just chef's kiss, man. CD Projekt Red, this is what thrusted them into the limelight for them to even start and attempt Cyberpunk. You feel me? Like, this game really did numbers for them. They themselves wasn't even expecting this game to do as well as it did. They was just like, hey, we wanted to make a better Witcher game. Let's pour a bunch of our assets into this game. This is a true story, by the way. You can look up interviews for this. They've literally on record saying they didn't expect it to do as well as they did. And they just knew that they had a really special game here, and they wanted to really do something nice for the people that's been supporting the first 2 games of theirs for Witcher. So they was like, fuck it, let's really hone in on this thing and make this a third person, really like big narrative story with all these systems built out. And they did that, and they surprised literally everybody. And I gotta say, CD Projekt Red, you are continuing to do God's work with these games and with your games in general.
AKA the guy Henry Cavill absolutely nailed. And in the game, Geralt's whole goal is to search for his adopted daughter's...
And then they recasted him. I'm sorry. Henry Cavill is a better Geralt than Hemsworth.
Siri, who's on the run from a group called the Wild Hunt.
I can't wait for the 4th game to come out.
Important is because it popularized the now very famous CD Projekt Red, a Polish company with probably the greatest name and/or logo ever made. And while I'm incredibly nervous to play this game for fear of upsetting a lot of people, make no mistake, this game is an achievement. The app...
Yeah, no, I don't blame him. But I guess I didn't even say it for the first time. When I first played this game, it didn't click with me either. It didn't. I'll be honest, the way that the game clicked with me was watching my older brother play. That is just one of the best things about having a sibling. I really got to say. I would play something, and we would take turns playing. So we only had one console at the time, and there would be multiple times where, like, for example, when Skyrim first came out, right? When Skyrim first came out, I would play for 2 hours. He would play for 2 hours. I would play, and we would just go back and forth between our different save files, especially with a game like that. You have different saves. That was really cool. When this game came out, we did the same concept. He played for like 4 or 5 hours. If he was home from school or I was home from school, we made an agreement. We was very fair with each other. He played like 5 to 10 hours. I'm at school or whatever the fuck. He might be sick, and vice versa. Boom. If it's a Saturday, I'm using my 5 to 10 hours. He's not touching that PlayStation. You feel me? And it was cool. I watched him play through shit, so when I got a chance to play through it, it not only felt a little easier to do, but it also made me like understand the world a little bit more, because I was getting double the information. So it would be like, oh, I played it, it really wasn't clicking. I'd watch him play, and my brother is 4.5 years older than me, so some concepts in games he just understood more. By the time this game came out, I don't remember the month that it came out, but I would have been around 14 or 15 years old. He would have been around 18 or 19 years old. So there's just a difference of how he took in the world and was able to explain concepts to me than when I took in the world and just wasn't there I was just by myself trying to do shit and just not understanding certain concepts and certain language that would be just put inside of tutorials or what we was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So I do want to preference that I don't blame him. Sometimes it requires someone else doing stuff for it to fucking click. And a lot of modern gamers are so disassociated, and they don't have a lot of siblings because the birth rate's gone down, and they don't have a lot of other people outside of just YouTubers to go through things. But the thing about it is that most YouTubers, and I'm victim of doing this myself, and I try my hardest not to, is they just overhype shit. Or they're not talking to you in a real way, you know? They don't sit down and talk to you a lot of times the way I'm talking to you right now, just like having a conversation. Hey, this game has this thing, it's really fun, whatever. And they almost like cut away every single moment that the story allows it to breathe, you know? That's kind of why a lot of streams are very valuable nowadays, is because you're not cutting all that bullshit out and you're leaving that space there. I say it's ADHD editing, you know, where you cut to the next thing all the fucking time. Let it breathe. Watching gameplays became popular because of long plays. You got to watch YouTubers play games in a stream-like setting, but they wasn't always like faking shit. However, obviously during this time was the massive era of "What's up, YouTube?" No. Like that's corny as fuck. You feel me? That's corny as shit. Like I said, I used to do it too. I don't know why the fuck that was even a thing, but yeah, I don't blame him. If he didn't get into the game immediately, I personally don't blame him. Don't be too hard on him for that.
Atmosphere, the story, the characters.
But a lot of gamers are so disconnected. They don't spend a lot of time just like connecting with each other. A lot of people don't have siblings nowadays like that, and they don't have like cool friends that they're gonna sit down and watch play. They might watch them play it on Discord or something, but they're like always super quiet. They're not explaining things. So that was one of the best things about playing games with my older brother. He also got me into games like Dead Island and other shit like that, where it might seem like a little campy and corny, but you have an appreciation for those campy, corny type of games because you're playing it with somebody and you're able to enjoy that.
And quite frankly,
I really miss doing shit with my older brother, for real, honestly.
Insane. Oh, dude, let's go, Roach.
Life just gets away from us, man. I swear. I miss playing stuff. I miss talking to my older brother. It's really hard, though, sometimes, man. You know, he's got a family, he's got his baby girl, and then he has his girlfriend. So like, you know, he has a daughter, his girlfriend, and he's living his life the way that he wants to live his life, and he, you know, he's doing things, and he's on substances that I'm not really a fan of, and I'm over here, I'm just trying to focus on getting my money up, spending time with my son, spending time with my wife, and being a content creator and stuff like that, you know, being an entertainer, honestly, being a streamer. Like, this is my dream, this is my goal, and honestly, the sacrifices that I don't get to spend time with him all the time when I want to, but I really do miss that, man, because he got me into a lot of the shit that I play and maintain nowadays, and I'll never forget that. And it sucks, you know. It's like he's a whole different person sometimes.
It's this very game that made Henry Cavill fall in love with the world of The Witcher.
It's
which,
such
if you
a
don't
good
know,
game.
actually
Such a
got
good
its start
game.
from books.
The games are, especially Witcher 3, super immersive, and when I was playing it, I always thought it'd make a great movie or TV show.
But there were a few things that personally never hit for me, with the main issue being the movement. And while it plays dramatically
movement
better than what I experienced in 2015,
The movement is a little stiff at times. It takes like that rhythmic nature of the game to get into it, you know. You start playing it more and more, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, it clicked.
15 on the Xbox One, overall it just feels stiff. And in
Are
a
you
way
playing?
that you just wouldn't
I'm
expect.
curious. Are you
for-
playing the original, or is he playing the Game of the Year remaster version? Because they did do a recent remaster like last year or two, maybe 3 years now. I don't know.
A guy known for cracking
But they
monsters,
re-released this
magic,
game.
and silver swords and a second sword. By the way, he has 2 swords, and yes, that is incredible. I can't play Gwent, okay? We play Gwent.
And the 2 swords make a difference
But after
too.
spending a full day on the Xbox One with The Witcher 3, you're probably wondering if my mind's changed. And I gotta be honest, I think it did. I can't tell you what's different, but I'm insanely locked in right now. You see, something that I don't
Bro, I'm
think is
telling you.
talked about enough is that a lot of these games may not hit you at the exact moment you think that they
On God. And one thing that I've always loved to do, and like I said, this is why I was talking about revisiting Last of Us Part 2. Sometimes when I sit down for a game, I know that I'm like in streamer mindset, and I feel like, okay, I gotta narrate, I gotta talk through things. But one thing that I've been appreciating as I've gotten older is I kind of find that a little cringe. It almost feels like, okay, now you're forcing yourself to talk. I naturally talk a lot when I'm doing stuff that I'm passionate about. My wife will tell you this. My brother will tell you this. My mom will tell you this. Literally anybody that's around me will tell you this. If I'm passionate about something, I'll sit there and talk about it a lot. However, when it comes to video games, I hit a crossroad. When I'm really locked into a game, I don't talk that much. But at the same time, when something happens that I wasn't expecting, or something that's just in my mind that I want to speak about, and I don't have somebody on a Discord call or somebody on the phone, or like my older brother or a friend in the room, I treat that as like the camera. The camera is my friend in that moment, and I'm just talking like I am right now. I'll like literally, I'm a very projective type of speaker. I project my voice. It gets a little bit of energy, a little bit of higher pitch, a little bit sometimes when I'm talking. Like, this is how I do it in my day-to-day life. And some people on the internet don't understand that because you don't fucking know me. And they be like, oh, you're just corny, you're fake, you're faking the fake. No, nigga, this is how I actually am. If I actually am corny to you, cool, whatever, bro. We not friends. Get to step and go to the next creator. You feel me? But I'll be honest. Sometimes I'll just sit and lock into a game with the camera off, dead silent, and it just clicks. And then I could come back and play it again on camera and be able to speak because I'm like, oh shit, it clicked. Now I'm having unconscious competence where I'm not even thinking about the game, I'm just playing it and I'm having a fucking really good time with it now.
Good. In fact, some of my favorite games of all time have taken me multiple attempts to get into them. And that's just kind of what happens when these things are over 100 hours.
Bloodborne is one of those games for me. Bloodborne took me God knows how long to play. I remember when the game first came out, I dropped that shit so fucking hard, so fast because of the marketing and stuff. Again, 2015 brain, I was thinking, this is going to be like Devil May Cry. And so did my older brother. I remember us both talking about that, thinking, oh, it's going to be like Devil May Cry. No, sir. Nothing like that. And yeah, it was one of my first times actually understanding the concept of a Souls game. And it actually took until Dark Souls 3 to come out, where I played Dark Souls 3 and then I revisited Bloodborne and it clicked. I was like, oh, this is how the game's supposed to be played. And then I started developing different play styles, whether, okay, shield heavy, dodge heavy, heavy weapons, light weapons. Do I want to use elemental weapons? Shit like that. I started understanding, do I want to parry a lot more? Whether that's with the shield for Dark Souls or with the gun for Bloodborne. And I started getting into the nick and cranny of the lore, and then it started to suck me into the world. So I always tell people I've played the games backwards. I played Bloodborne, didn't finish it, played Dark Souls 3, didn't finish it, went back, beat Bloodborne multiple times, then went and played through Dark Souls 3 with a buddy of mine, not like with Dom, not like together because we didn't have internet like that growing up, but I would go over to his house and I watched him play and beat it, and I was like, I got it. And then he would be next to me, like, again, that brotherly type of aspect where we're just friends on the couch playing through it. Sometimes some of the shit he was coaching me through, like, that's how we played some games back in the day, and that was really fucking cool. That was really gas. So we did that, and then I got through the game, and the funny thing is he didn't really understand the whole concept of the game either. He played through the entire game thinking the very starting axe was the best weapon in the game and putting like fire element shit on that. He didn't understand how the stats scaled with which weapon until much later, because again, we're just kids playing these fucking games. Some of them we didn't understand the full concept of a lot of the RPG factors of it, and I'm not going to shy away from saying that and stuff. It's weird because in a game like that, it was harder for us to understand how things was affecting our stats versus, I don't know, a Final Fantasy. Because I grew up playing Final Fantasy, games like Final Fantasy VII. That's why Cloud is one of my favorite characters of all fiction. And I played Dragon Quest games and stuff. So, like, I've played a lot of RPG fucking heavy games, but it's different in the context of a JRPG and how things affect you versus, like, what From Software was building out. So, anyways, I played that. Then I went back and played 2 and 1. Didn't like 2, beat 1, and then I also ended up going through the remaster of 1, and then when they did the remake of Demon Souls is when I played Demon Souls for the first time. Actually, no, I played the original Demon Souls, didn't beat it then, but I beat Demon Souls when it remastered, and that's on my other channel to this day.
Hours long.
So, yeah. I agree with that. Sometimes you got to revisit shit.
Game Awards get this right.
And the winner for Game
What was
of
the
Year
nominees in 2015?
is The Witcher 3.
Okay, yeah. Phantom Pain, MGS5, Phantom Pain. Woo. That's a good game, bro. That's a good game. That's a good game, bro. That's a good game. Oh my god. This is a stacked year. Fallout 4, not that great of a game, but when the game first came out, everybody was on that shit. A lot of people liked that game, loved that game when it first came out. Bloodborne, like I said, if you were to compare the games nowadays and how I love the games now, I gotta personally edge out on Bloodborne versus Witcher. But Witcher objectively is just a better game.
Honestly, for me, my heart would probably go to Bloodborne, but even still, I think The Witcher 3 is a phenomenal game, and I've been enjoying the heck out of it. So, let's rank it. Guys, this was just dramatically more fun than I ever expected.
Definitely
It's
higher
no
than
surprise,
Dragon Age.
This is our new #1, pushing Dragon Age to #2.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I'm thinking about right now.
For
I just want
sure.
to keep playing it. It's a problem. But you know what's not a problem? Having insider knowledge. For example, did you know that the Game Awards gets more viewers than the Oscars, the Emmys, and the Grammys combined? Well, our pals at Boot.dev do.
That's crazy. Damn, that's actually crazy to think about. Holy fucking shit. That's crazy to think about, bro. That's a lot of viewers. Damn.
Which is why we've teamed up to give you guys 3 Touchgrass trivia facts while also sharing tools to build your very own games. And in case it wasn't clear, I'm incredibly uncomfortable. Fact
I like
number
that
1,
camera.
a small
It
studio
looks really
broke the
good.
record for most wins in a single night.
A small indie studio broke the record for the most award wins in a single night. I don't know what the devs behind Hollow Knight?
With Claire Obscure's Expedition
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind. That's right. That's
33
right.
earning 9 game awards
Yep.
under a $10 million development budget, proving just how valuable
Which is crazy. I think $10 million for a dev budget is not very indie, but hey, if you rich and you buy yourself and you build that studio up, it still counts as indie.
learning to program really is, which Boot.dev makes learning as easy as possible using quests, leveling, and boss fights, turning what could be a new career into an addictive game anyone can play. Fact number 2, the Game Awards is actually a sequel, with Canadian host Jeff Keighley self-financing the show after the failure that was the Spike Video Game Awards. If you know, you know. Which no doubt was incredibly stressful, unlike Boot.dev, who
Didn't even know about that.
offers a 30-day no questions asked refund policy for anyone looking to learn programming. You guys see my calves? It'd be really awkward if you couldn't. Hi. Fact number 3. Story games are getting bigger than you think, with 2023's Game of the Year's script having more words than all of Harry Potter, all of Lord of the Rings, and all of Shakespeare's work combined. Which is actually something I can share with Boot.dev's AI helper, Boots. Look at this guy, he's adorable. So if learning programming in the form of a game sounds interesting to you, go to Boot.dev and use my code ZENKAI to get 25% off your entire first year on an annual plan.
Like a Zenkai
now,
boost?
let's get back inside to play one of gaming's biggest fumbles.
Is that a Wii remote?
Welcome to 2016, a time when Pokemon Go was causing everyone and their dogs to walk into incoming traffic.
I didn't even
And
know
some
what
guy named Daniel
that,
somehow finds the freshest white fans.
Damn! Daniel, back at it again with the white vans.
But it's also the year the Blizzard won Game
I didn't know Blizzard won Game of the Year with Overwatch. Well, I remember being so heavy into Overwatch beta. Oh my god.
the year for Overwatch, its first new IP in over a decade. And let me tell you, boy, was it something special. Holy smokes, if you were there at launch, you just had a fantastic time. But does it hold up? Well, let's find out. Now, if you don't know,
That
this
game is still fucking
basically
going
Blizzard's
hard.
failed attempt to making a sequel to World of Warcraft. And after what felt like a decade, they decided to salvage what they had, giving the world Overwatch. And as if they couldn't flex any harder, it was also their
Man, look at that. You know, like when people say in the earlier years of something, you could see literally the like more life, more energy in people's eyes. That's what I look at when I see, or that's what I see when I look at these videos of older game dev talks and shit. Even at Bethesda, it's like they had more passion in their eyes talking about their games and their creation. It almost felt like, hey, they actually care about these games. They actually care about the creation and the aspect that they're doing, like in the aspect of the attention to detail. Where nowadays it just feels like, we'll put out whatever, we'll make some money for it. Whereas before it was like, hey, we're putting out a hero shooter. We were putting out a hero shooter because it makes sense, not because we want to make money from it.
giving the world
I don't know. I really
Overwatch.
appreciate and
And
love
as if
what
they
they
couldn't
like. Look at that. Like he has so much passion talking about that.
flex any harder, it was also their first time making a first-person shooter, which at the
Like, they
surface
really
sounds
wanted
like a
to do
whatever
this.
compliment until you realize that every character plays completely differently. I mean, you got a freaking robot guy, you got a monkey guy, you got a guy that we can't say his name anymore guy, and a bunch of other characters the internet is way too obsessed with.
I know what kind of man you are.
Put simply, what Blizzard did with Overwatch changed video games forever, both for the good and the less good.
Yeah, loot crates.
And speaking of good, let me tell you what it nailed. With the first being that each one of these characters is actually directly tied to a specific country, meaning even if you don't like the characters or you're unfamiliar with them, you can always align to the character that matches your country.
Everyone, this is May. Hi, everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Creating this form of human
That's pretty cool.
tribalism that was really cool for the time and honestly hasn't been done since. But I can't talk about Overwatch without talking about the most important thing
Damn,
they
XQC
did,
been doing this shit for a
especially in
minute.
the early days, and that is showing the world how to communicate with your fans.
Now, this is from Shin Q, Nerf South Korea in esports. I think it's less about Nerf South Korea and more about buff the rest of the world.
If you were there when Overwatch originally launched,
Yeah.
then you know
South Koreans
that
are
this guy
fucking
right
busted at
here
video
is
games.
the frickin' man, and he should be protected at all costs. In fact, can we all just comment,
Doesn't-
Jeff? We love you. You're
Does
the
he-
frickin' man.
does he still
because
work
I'm
there?
Sure that'd really make his day.
Lottie Dottie, who gets the Gotti? Here it goes.
But much like any other multiplayer-focused video game, Overwatch started changing. They added more heroes, they increased complexity, and then on top of that, they tried to create Overwatch 2 with a campaign that didn't have a campaign that eventually would become Overwatch 1, and it's
Yeah.
a giant
Bro,
mess,
I'm about to say,
and it's just
campaign
really weird
never
and
fucking
unfortunate.
dropped.
But the single biggest problem with Overwatch, even today, has to be the impact it left on the video game industry. Because ever since it released in 2016 and blew everyone away, for some reason, everyone and their dog started making hero shooters, like this one. Or this one.
Hey,
or
don't
this one. I
not
even
not
know
too
what
much on
this
High Guard,
is,
bro. High
but
Guard
they
was
made it.
gas.
So here's the million-dollar question. Did the Game Awards
It's because they wanted money. They didn't want to create it for the sake of the authenticity of the idea working best with hero shooters. They said, let's make a hero shooter, and they just made an idea to work with it versus making the idea and landing on hero shooters as the genre that fits it best.
get it right?
The game of the year at the Game Awards 2016 is Overwatch.
Look, I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to 2016, Overwatch
That is crazy, bro. Multiplayer game winning game of the year. That's crazy.
was by far the game of the year. They definitely knocked it out the park. Having said that, I still have
I have got to give the edge over to Uncharted 4. Sorry, bro.
to give hearts to every single other nominee. Because oh my god, did all of these other games slap. This really bummed me out. I mean, I was a huge fan of the original Overwatch. I was there at launch. It blew my mind. It changed.
No, it was a moment,
the
bro. It
industry.
was
But what I
literally a
played
moment in
today
time.
Is just not that game. So for that reason, I'm going to be putting Overwatch at number 2. Sorry,
Over
Overwatch.
Dragon
But
Age?
what if I told you that this next game is one of the most important ever created?
Damn, bro.
Welcome to 2017, a time when fellow Canadian Justin Bieber drops Despacito, and Nintendo
Wait.
drops a console that shakes up video games forever.
It's been that long? Damn, bro. I need to get with the times, bro. 2017 was when the first Switch dropped. God damn, it's been forever. Shit, yeah, I feel old. You see that message at the bottom? Fuck you.
But I'm not going to be playing 2017's Game of the Year on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh
No,
yeah,
sir.
it dropped
I'll
on
be
Wii
playing
U
it
at first.
on the Nintendo Wii U, aka the console that almost bankrupt Nintendo, or as I like to call it, the console with the comfiest controller ever. It's like a pillow for your hands, and it feels phenomenal. I have nothing more to add.
You
Let's
can
jump
dock
in.
it though too.
Now, if somehow you've never played a Zelda game before, let me give you the basic context. That's gotta be like the best title card drop I've ever seen in my life. The game's story is basically about a young boy named Zelda who wakes up needing to save the Princess Link from some evil pig man named Ganon. And yes, that was a troll that I'm sure already gave me 2,000 comments.
What's wrong with you?
But what makes Zelda so important comes down to the basic philosophy. Because while other open world games had sort of a linear type of progression to them with multiple icons, Breath of the Wild changed.
You know, I gotta say, an open world game like that has tons of icons, it's not always all bad. I know like the current industry loves to give shit to them, but there's a reason why they got really popular, because they work. Sometimes you do want a game that has a lot of shit in it. And you don't always have to feel obligated to do all of the things. It's an option. I always say to people that like talk about getting really rich or some shit, I'll be like, why do you want to be rich? So you can pay your bills? Okay, but what do you do with the money after that? Having money gives you options. When you don't have money, you have less options. Having options is what makes life worth it. You know what I mean? When you're rich as fuck, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, whenever you want to do it. Reasonably. When you're poor as shit, bro, you have 1 or 2 options, maybe 3 if you're fucking lucky. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a map that gives you a plethora of things to do, it's like you could do them if you want, but you don't have to. I just love the idea of leveling up my character, doing a bunch of shit. So like that's different, you know. I'll sit there, I'll level up a character, I'll do side quests, I'll do this thing and this thing. Oh shoot, I get extra ability for doing this, I get extra skill points for doing this. I get extra I don't know, like map points if we're talking about Spider-Man. You get a lot of different aspects if it's done right. You know, one of the most modern games that I say did open world games right. I know that Ubisoft gets a lot of shit for it, but I thought Assassin's Creed Origins was really good. I thought it's the best out of the newer age of Assassin's Creed games, and it did the open world mechanics really well. But I do understand, like, some people just saying, hey, it's overdone, it's overplayed, let's make new games now. I get it. But there's every single game genre, every single game has been overdone, every single game has been overplayed, every single thing has had a million different games made for them. It's all on the execution at that point.
Changed everything by somehow letting you do whatever you wanted, however you wanted, including beating the game in the first hour if you wanted to. Greatest game of all time.
Yeah.
Greatest game of all time. I love this game. So let's talk about what it nailed. Now, as I mentioned before, the openness of Zelda is incredible, but it's the design that is really the thing that's
and that shit is still influential to this day. Genshin Impact and all the other games that come out that are like it would not have the current stamina bar if it wasn't for Breath of the Wild.
mind-blowing. That's right. This is the game that introduced climb anywhere mechanics. Before Breath of the Wild, this was never a thing. And sprinkled across the map are hundreds of these little shrines that you can see from miles away. You just go wherever you see things. Like, look, I see this, I want to go there. I see another tower, I want to go there. Each with little handcrafted puzzles.
This is crazy. It dropped on the Wii U,
There's
man.
so many moments in this game where I'm like, how did you guys even think of that? You see, at the end of the day, this game took a huge amount of complex ideas, got it to run on the Wii U, and then hid it behind some of the simplest game design I've ever seen. You just wake up and you play. And I gotta say, in this day and age, something like that is insanely refreshing. I don't think people understand how insane it is that they made Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past,
They're making a remake,
Wind
yes.
Waker, and this one, and they're all completely different, while all still being a Zelda game. I don't like their pricing system, but overall, the games, they got it down. But while it's clear I love
Nintendo
the heck out of
sucks
this
ass
game,
for
it did get a
pricing.
few things wrong. Specifically, that the weapons break almost instantly. And while I get the idea on paper, in practice...
You know, I will say, I have been one of the weird people out there that doesn't really mind having durability on their weapons. The first game to introduce it to me in a very strong way was Fallout New Vegas, and I didn't mind it. As long as there's a reasonable way to actually to fix the durability of your weapon, or you're constantly getting weapons, you know, the mechanic is fine. But I totally understand how it's an unpopular mechanic, because you get something, you just want to keep it in the game a lot of the times.
I hate it. Which brings us to our main questions. Does it hold up? And did the Game Awards get it right?
Dude, this game is the freaking best.
It's honestly probably going to be number 1 or 2.
Yeah, it holds up. And the fact that it holds up on this freaking potato is, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, bro, this shit is going to be...
Not enough respect.
it's going to be number 1 or 2.
This is amazing.
Now, as far as the Game Awards decision, there is a...
Ooh, this was this year? Oh, yeah, I forgot 2017. Nah, bro, got to give it to Persona 5. Gotta give it to P5,
in which
bro.
you can clearly argue that PUBG was the greater game. However, I think from an artistic and experience point of view, it's no question to me.
Gotta give that shit to Persona 5
forever. So let's rank it.
Guys, it's not even a question to me, okay? This is number 1. It's a phenomenal game.
That's what I say. It's gonna be number 1 or 2.
It's still somehow phenomenal running on a potato. The first hour of this game should quite frankly be studied. It's a phenomenal game. The fact that it's still fun almost 10 years from now, all of these games really, it's just a testament to how far video games have come, and I couldn't be more proud to be playing these games. Absolutely phenomenal. It's our new number 1. But boy, oh boy, let me tell you, this next game might be one of the most narratively impressive games I've ever seen.
2018, yeah,
Welcome
God of
to
War.
2018, a time when Fortnite shamelessly copies the ever-loving bejesus out of PUBG, and everyone in the world starts joyfully Wakandaing.
Wakanda forever!
You know what else sparks joy? Playing the 2018 reboot of God of War on a jet engine. It's hot, loud, and quite frankly, it scares me.
I'm in an incredible amount of pain.
Now, if you don't know, this God of War follows the Greek god.
I love that they tried a part of the advertising for the PS4 Pro was saying that it wasn't going to be as loud. Brother, it doesn't matter, bro. You had a fucking jet engine regardless in the console.
Kratos and his very weird-looking son through the challenges of fatherhood.
Oh my
and the reason
gosh.
God of War matters comes down to 2 very simple things. Number 1, the way the narrative was designed from a character perspective, from a world perspective, and even reintroducing dialogue as you're
Uncharted
doing things
Game of the War
revolutionary. Like,
DLC.
you could just have a conversation passively with your son, have it be interrupted, and then reconvene somewhere on some boat.
Everything is different, boy.
Everything
Trying to dwell
is
on it.
different.
It sounds like a small thing, but it was incredibly immersive. But the biggest achievement of this game had to be that they moved Kratos from the Greek mythology games that people
Norse?
freaking loved all the way to the Norse mythology and somehow nailed basically everything. I don't think a single person was mad. Think about that.
This knife.
People were questioning it definitely when it first came out.
Now it is yours.
I'm going to try to pause
let me
less
tell you about what this game
because we're 18 minutes into this video, and we're probably like close to an hour into the stream.
Kratos and Atreus, his son, are absolutely goose-tastic, leaving you consistently wanting to know more and watching the story unfold. Not only that, but the gameplay was completely different from the previous God of Wars, adding a brand new axe that functioned like Thor's Mjolnir.
Oh my god, and it was such a good such a good thing. I remember playing the Thor game. I know I just said I'm gonna pause less. I remember playing the Thor game that came out on PlayStation 3. And it was pretty fun for the time. But holy fuck, man, being able to throw the Leviathan axe is a one in a lifetime experience. You experienced that shit for the first time?
Like the best thing ever.
Nothing like
Even
it.
if you weren't satisfied, spoilers, they gave you the old Blades of Chaos anyways. Also, Kratos said this line.
Read, boy.
Everybody loved it. At the end of the day, the characters in this game just feel incredibly well written, especially given that Kratos used to be like this.
Then prepare for your death, Poseidon.
And in video games, this is a huge feat, but cinematically,
I'm excited to go back to it, bro. We're getting remakes.
To popularize the one-take camera, a technique that had been growing in huge popularity in movies was now being translated to video games. And surprisingly, it worked even better.
Did he say the first game to do it or popularize it? Because if we're just speaking about games that's on this list that he's gone over already, Uncharted 4 was doing this far beforehand.
than movies, leading to incredible moments that kept you completely
Or Uncharted
immersed.
in general.
Like the first time we saw this thing. Look at this thing. I don't know what he's saying, but it's the best thing ever. So, did Jeff Kaplan get this right?
The game award for Game of the Year goes to God of War.
Well, here's the
Get AC Odyssey out of here. You can't win. Celeste, fucking great music. Spider-Man, though. Monster Hunter World, Red Dead 2. Holy fuck, bro. What a stacked list. The only real contenders here for me is God of War, Spider-Man, RDR2. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments.
thing. For
Holy
personal
shit.
reasons you can see in my Spider-Man video, I have to give my heart to not only Spider-Man, but Red Dead Redemption 2. But having said that, I still think the Game Awards absolutely
Honestly, they're so equal and they're so stacked. It doesn't matter. It could have gone to any of them, honestly. It truly could have gone to any of
God of War
them.
2018 is freaking phenomenal. So, let's rank it.
Absolute cinema.
2.
That's right.
Gotta be
it's
number
going
2.
at number 2.
Yeah.
This is not going to get any easier the longer that we go on ranking these Game of the Years, but bro, it is so
The video is
going to
turn into how long is it going to take to beat Zelda.
But this is a phenomenal game. I had a blast returning, and the fact that it had such high expectations going in, and it still held up.
That's truly going to be the
Not enough
the
kind
definitive
things can be said about
how
God
long
of
is it
War
going to take to
2018.
beat Zelda?
But you know what's better than God of War 2018? Playing what has to be one of the hardest games in the world. He said, sarcastically.
Welcome to 2019,
What?
a time when millions of
I do not think
Naruto-obsessed individuals
Sekiro is
raid
one of
Area
the hardest games of all
51,
time.
and Marvel's cinematic universe ends on what might be the perfect high note.
I don't want to do this.
I don't think Sekiro is that hard.
Before I jump into Sekiro, I gotta tell you a personal story. It's October 2011, and a young Casey goes into his local Blockbuster, which is a thing we still had back then, shifting my eyes left and right, looking for something new to rent. Something I'd never heard of before, and I found this. Dark Souls.
You guys are never gonna believe this, but I actually still have
That
my
OG
original
cover,
receipt.
bro. Holy
I bought
crap.
this October 16th, 2011 from a guy named Jacob. Dude, shout out.
I remember when the game came out. Was it Dark Riders? I can't remember the game right now. But I remember getting the cases confused because of just the poses and how they
the
were.
second I put this game in, I was treated to an experience that felt like the old days of Super Nintendo. And that, especially at the time, was insanely refreshing.
And you know what was weird? Every time that I look at a Dark Souls game, something in my mind just clicks and says, this looks like a computer game. It's something about the way that they have the aesthetic on the side and shit. I don't know. Again, I can't explain it. I can't quantify it. It's just something about the UI in totality just reminds me, oh, this is a computer game. I don't know what it is about it.
I hate Sekiro.
What kind of psychopath can even beat this game?
Seriously, I feel like I consistently smashed my head into the wall only to find out that the guy I was fighting was just the tutorial boss. But while I obviously suck at the game, it did a lot right. I mean, this ninja vibe is fan-freaking-tastic. And not only that, but From Software is trying to mix up the craft, with Dark Souls being more of a turtley shield and defend yourself type of game, Bloodborne being a parry type of game, and Sekiro turning into a game with stealth, verticality, and becoming something unlike any other Souls game before it.
And parry.
To only win through skill.
So he had to jump that.
No freaking way.
You had to jump that one. You had to jump that one. Oh, you think that game is hard? Fucking spend hours playing against the father fight. Yeah. In the past. You know, if you know, you know.
Speaking of which, let's talk about what I didn't like about the game. Well, basically all of it, but at the same time, that's just what this game is. Meaning, I don't think that it actually missed anything, and if that's for you, that's great. And if it's not, well,
I simply do not believe a single person can beat this game. I fundamentally do not believe it.
So here's the big question. Did Vin Diesel get this right?
The Game of the Year award goes to Sekiro.
Why did
If I had
they
to
get
make a choice, I'd probably give my heart to Resident Evil 2, but it is a
Ooh. See, I'm one of the weird ones, okay? Sekiro deserves it, personally. Runner up, Smash Bros. Outer Worlds. I loved Outer Worlds. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. If I were to put this in a list, it was going to be Sekiro, Smash, Resident Evil, Outer Worlds, Death Stranding, Control. That's how I would do
As
it.
far as Game of the Year goes, I'd actually say that Sekiro feels like a very fair choice compared to these other games. So, let's rank it.
I love how slick that looks on the screen. The home, like the title page. I just have like very weird, articulate appreciation for just design choices.
It's last.
Yeah, I bet.
Now let's move on
For you, I
to
bet.
what might be the most controversial video game ever made.
Welcome to 2020.
I gotta get me something to drink, bro. Came back and I didn't end stream or anything. I know
A
it's
time
a
when
thing
the
people
world
have been
gets
saying.
increasingly more tense, and every corporate company against remote work somehow figures it out.
Oh, why is he so mad?
You know who else somehow figures it out? Naughty Dog, who creates The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I don't know if they
somehow
figured it
during a
out.
pandemic on what has to be the loudest console ever made.
Well, they didn't start the dev team. They didn't start the development cycle for this game during COVID. So, you know, what they decided to do since COVID was remaster these
Dear
games
God,
500,000
I am
times.
so afraid to put this disc inside that machine because I'm pretty sure it's going to explode and I'm going to die. And if that happens, that's on you. Just know I died trying to entertain you. Okay? I'm scared. I'm nervous.
Valid
Let's
way to
jump
go out,
in.
though.
You see, The Last of Us Part
Valid
2
way to go.
continues the story
No?
of the original Last of Us, with Joel and Ellie returning 4 years after one of the greatest
Valid-
endings in
valid
video
way.
game history, which is kind of why this game matters, because it felt like the perfect game to stop at.
Swear to me that everything that you said about the Fireflies is true.
Oh, that's the remake.
I swear.
But before we get into the controversies, how about we start with what it did right? For one, the guys at Naughty Dog just seem to have some type of black magic voodoo that I'm just not aware of, because look at
looks
these
so
graphics.
good.
None of this makes sense. I would even
That's the
say this looks
thing.
better than 99% of games today. On top of that, the vibe
Except 2015 Batman fucking Arkham Knight.
and the gameplay of the world was just so well done, with animation
That game
heavy
looks too
movements
good.
similar to The Witcher that felt so much more applicable to the world.
Heads up, you're the talk of the town this morning.
It's one of those games where you just slow walk to soak it in. And while it's definitely controversial, you gotta give these guys credit for trying something new. I mean, they took one heck of a swing here. Speaking of which, let's go through what they did wrong. Spoilers, they killed Joel, which I guess is okay from
I don't think that them killing Joel was wrong. I just don't. Okay, my issues with the game, like just mine. I understand that some people are just like, oh, I gotta turn the game off after killing Joel. My issues with the game has nothing to do with them killing Joel. It's the execution. The way that he introduces himself would have not happened based on the context of how he acts in the first game. It makes zero reason why he would canonically introduce himself the way that happened, nor how Tommy would act and be like, oh yeah, this is Joel. They both know that they have huge amounts of enemies. There's no fucking possible way that would happen. They just shoehorned that bitch in. It's inconsistency in writing. It's the same shit that I keep on knocking Korra for, and it's the same shit that I knocked the new Avatar Aang movie for. It's inconsistency. Somebody might say nitpicking. I don't fucking care. Comment in my section. I don't care if you want to say I'm nitpicking. Say I'm nitpicking. It's the goddamn truth, okay? If you are consistent with showing and portraying a character one way, you can't show him another way and expect audiences to just digest that and say, yeah, That's a natural progression of his character. Makes zero sense, okay? Makes zero sense. And then you proceed to have us play as his killer, which conceptually sounds like a fire and insane idea. But the execution, again, is so poor. My issues are always with the pacing of this actual story and the depth of the writing. You had a really cool idea. You had a really phenomenal way of storytelling that you wanted to go for, but you decided to do it in a piss poor way. It would have been better if you ping pong between the characters to let us naturally have an appreciation of Abby and her story and the characters that she's interacting with, and understanding, hey, The Last of Us is a cutthroat universe where your favorite character, even if he is the main character who we follow for the majority of the part 1, he could just not be a good person. We're just following him. Okay, that makes sense. It's real life. Morally, Joel did not choose the correct choice. However, it's a video game. We killed dozens of people to get to Ellie, and blah, 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 blah. I understand why he died. The how, it's always the problem. The execution is the problem. The execution of what happened afterwards, because him dying then gives us a sense of rage, like, oh, we gotta get our get back. We gotta go out for revenge. So we're in the mindset of Ellie the whole way. But it doesn't feel like a natural progression when you get to the end of the story, and then you end up fucking dropping the whole thing, and you're like, nah, we gotta forgive. We've already lost everything, and we lost my fucking 3 fingers too. We can't even play the guitar anymore. Like, dog, and then we lose our baby mama and all that. Like, we lost Joel, we lost everything. Lost Joel, lost Dina. So it just feels like the execution was poor. But again, maybe I just need to revisit it. I have strong feelings towards the game. I don't think that that's really... I guess it's fair. You could say them killing Joel is a negative thing, but it's the how of how they did it.
Narrative through what
Let's
they
bring
did
it back.
wrong. Spoilers, they killed Joel, which I guess is okay from a narrative point of view, but let's be real. We all just want to play as Joel. You see, in the first game,
No, I
when
didn't mind
Joel
playing as
decides to go
Ellie.
save Ellie, he goes on sort of a shooting spree with the last surviving doctors on the planet. But one of these doctors just so happens to be Abby's dad, which for those who don't know, is this girl, causing Ellie to attempt to get her revenge and leave her happyish lifestyle for murder. Look, the theme is revenge is bad, guys, okay? And if you didn't know it, the game really wants you to. So I'm just gonna put the words on the screen, and we're just gonna hold here. We're gonna soak it in.
He did not like this
That's
game.
what Naughty Dog wanted. And I'm just a servant for the video game. We're all having fun here. But why is that so bad? Well, a lot of the pain has to come from Abby.
Also, I'm gonna go out and say this, okay? Yeah, revenge is bad. But is it though? My people went through slavery. We got our get back. And we're still trying to get our get back. Revenge is bad, but is it though? You catch what I'm saying? The United States of America was built on revenge. We got our get back from England. So is it so bad? Like, I'm sorry to pose that moral question to you and really have you sit there and talk about some, like, a video game, but like, put it in context of the world. Somebody slime out your brother. Is it so bad? I'm pretty sure you're probably gonna slime out their brother, right? That's what gang war shit ends up leading into. So is it really so bad? Or, like, I'm being for real. Is it really so bad? We have our entire country built on the backs of getting revenge and freeing ourselves. Harriet Tubman freed slaves. You know how many business owners probably needed those slaves? They built their entire businesses on shit like that. We got our revenge, bro. I definitely am the type of person that says revenge is not always bad, bro. It's not always bad. It depends on the context. It's not always bad. Forgiveness, yes, that is something that people should have a lot of. I definitely think that's true. I think people should have a lot of forgiveness in their hearts. I think that people should have a lot of understanding as somebody that's a Christian or spiritual. I would say that forgiveness is key. But I'm not going to go along the lines and say like all forms of revenge is terrible. You know, if you could see that like there's genuinely if you can see that the person that might have done something wrong to you or your family is genuinely trying to do better, have some grace. But if you see that there's zero remorse, they don't understand any of their actions and blah, 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 like they just continuously be bad, then maybe it's a different topic to say, okay, we got to get our get back because he's not showing or they're not showing or she's not showing whatever, any form of remorse. They're not showing any form of just feeling bad about the situation. They're not trying to correct said situation. They're not just saying, all right, well, you know, I'm sorry, we did this. I did this thing. Excuse me. We're just going to leave the situation as is. I'm going to move on to a different thing. They're not doing that. We got to slime back. So I think context matters. I think context matters. How do y'all feel about that? I think context matters. I think it's very important.
Because halfway through the game, spoilers, you just kind of swap and play as her, trying to
from
give you
the
sympathy,
terrible up,
which
terrible
to be real
idea.
With you guys actually worked for me. It's just the first 2 levels, I was like, oh God, you disgust me. You killed like one of the coolest characters ever. I don't like you. I don't want to play as you. Now, I'm not saying they nailed it. A lot of things felt pretty obvious. But overall, for video games, I'm happy that someone out here is trying something new. I mean, could you imagine if 3-4...
No, bro. No. Hard disagree. Fucking no, brother. Fuck no. The story would have been like, if you wanted to keep everything as is, the only thing that you needed to change was how the story was told. That's the only thing. If you didn't want to change any of the execution, I would have had this story be way more digestible if all you fucking did was say, let's have this follow a more classic story curve. And it would have just been way more digestible. The issue is, again, you get all the way to the climax with Ellie, and then you teleport back down the roller coaster, and you gotta get back up the climax to kill. And then you get to see the resolution. I would much rather it be, hey, we're flopping between the two, which they did in the start of the game. Isn't that crazy? They did that. You started as Joel, you go to Ellie. You go from Ellie back to Joel. You go from Joel over to Abby, and then you get back to Ellie. So they started the game off with a awesome philosophy. They then butchered the shit out of the storytelling. You know what I mean? That's what the problem is. That is what the issue ended up becoming. That's what the issue became.
3 made this game? Joel?
I appreciate you following. Thank you. Would I listen to Russian? I don't mind listening to Russian music. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm in the middle of reacting to this video. But if you want to send something, I might listen to it a little bit later.
Would be
maybe
Luke
something
Cage,
for me to listen to
Ellie
off stream or something.
Like this, and then that, and then maybe this now. And also, Halo 5 sucks.
This is a really bad game. I hate it.
I have to say it every video.
How you doing, by the way?
I'll continue saying it for the rest of time. Which brings us to the Game Awards. And if Christopher Nolan got it right.
And now, the Game of the Year award goes to The Last of Us Part 2.
Look, I think Naughty Dog achieved something.
Fuck no. No. Out of this lineup alone, I gotta say, I would much rather play Ghost of Tsushima and Final Fantasy than Last of Us Part 2. I'm sorry. If that ruffles some feathers, especially when this goes up on YouTube, Ghost of Tsushima And Final Fantasy, out of this list right here, deserves to be Game of the Year over Last of Us Part 2.
That's incredibly.
And Hades. I've not beaten Hades, but I've seen so much of Hades, and it's just like the cream of the crop when it comes to fucking indie games.
Impressive.
And Doom Eternal. And I don't even want to shaft Doom, but come on.
I want to play it again.
Me, I'm doing a lot better this morning.
Meaning the Game Awards definitely got this wrong.
I was having a harder time yesterday than I am now, but I appreciate you asking. Thank you.
It's going at number 5, right underneath Overwatch and directly above Dragon Age Inquisition.
Sekiro is a better game. So I'm sorry. Sekiro is a better game.
Okay. Ghosts of frickin' Tsushima.
What's crazy is I know that Ghost of Tsushima should have won, and I haven't even played it yet. I haven't played it yet. But not all forms of media has to be played, like has to physically be in your grasp to understand the type of game and how fun you would have with it, okay? I've watched Corey Kenshin play through a lot of Ghost of Tsushima. I've been around friends. The same thing I was telling y'all earlier in the stream, right? Been there when my brother was playing the game. I've played maybe a couple levels for him. Like, it's kind of those things where it's like, yes, I've played the game, but I've not like played it from start to finish myself. Okay, so yes, I've touched the game, I've played the game. All right, if we want to be technical, but I've not played it. You see what I'm saying? Ghost of Tsushima is just a better game than bro. I don't even care how they would have told. You could fix all of the issues with Last of Us Part 2. Ghost of Tsushima is still a better game.
Is a banger. The fact that it released the same year and got freaking snubbed by The Last of Us Part 2 brings him.
I honestly feel like Naughty Dog just has crazy pull at the Game Awards.
A lot of sadness to my heart, and I don't have a reason to play this game in a video form, so this is my reason to talk about it. Naughty Dog, you guys, you always get all your flowers. That's amazing. I'm very happy for you. But if you haven't played this freaking gem,
bro,
it's probably a top 3 PlayStation exclusive. I remember playing it for the first time and being like, why is no one talking about this game? It's incredible. Shout out Jin Sakai, dude.
It's probably
right?
top 2
That's
PlayStation exclusives.
That's our boy. But you know what's not our boy? Or maybe it is? A game that might be the complete antithesis to The Last of Us Part 2.
Welcome to 2021, a time when South Korea flexes how creative
that game
they
is
truly
gas,
are,
though.
causing Americans to raid every bank imaginable just to recreate it.
I'm actually glad that It Takes Two won Game of the Year in 2021 because it proves that these quirky indie games can really put everybody else's foot in their mouth and show up and show out. I had so much fucking fun playing that game with my wife.
Without further ado,
So much fun.
You know what didn't break the bank? It Takes Two. One of the smallest Game of the Years on this list, and one of the most unique Game of the Years on this list. Because this is the only game that I'll have to play with another person. Which means I need to call my wife.
You could play it solo, but honestly, that shit really fun.
The incredibly unique formula
when you're playing it with somebody.
Applies, creating gameplay that required 2 people to work together, like my wife and I. It's easy. You just jump and dash.
I'm pretty sure it's just made by the same people that made that A Way Out game when you're playing as the 2 people breaking out of prison and shit.
A lot. The aesthetic is awesome. The idea is goose frickin' tastic, and the narrative of saving a marriage by working together in the form of puppets is downright genius.
Okay, so I'm gonna hold this, and the electricity's gonna
There's
go
so
through
many
my
moments, so
arms.
many good moments with this.
Danger, why would I do that?
Yeah, you're not wrong, but that's just also how video games work. Creating a gameplay sandbox that allows each specific character to have
So you're
their
not
own
wrong, that's just how
strengths to
video
help you beat the
games
level.
work.
Also, this book guy is awesome. I love him.
I'm the worldwide bestseller expert on love.
But I'm gonna be honest, gang, I hated playing it. In fact, there's just no way for me to explain why I didn't like it beyond the fact that I've never had an experience with this game that wasn't me overperforming. Yeah, it's completely safe. Don't worry, I got you.
Okay. Kind of an asshole thing to say, okay? You didn't like it because your wife's a bad gamer. My wife's not the greatest gamer either, okay? But it's supposed to be quirky and fun. I will say that. If you're saying you didn't like playing the game because you were having to do majority of the shit, nigga, that's called being a man in a relationship anyways, okay? At least stereotypically. You're going to probably handle a lot of finances. You're probably going to handle security. You're probably going to handle authority if you have a child, right? You're probably going to handle a lot of responsibility and weight that's on your shoulders that's supposed to be easier for her to not have to worry about. So, hey, newsflash, that's just being a man, okay? Am I saying that it's okay? No. But I feel like that's a lousy excuse to say, nah, I didn't really enjoy the game like that because I was overperforming. So what?
I'm sorry.
The game is fun.
Babe, watch the explosions. Watch.
Oh, or underperform. Okay. Nah, I just think the game is fun all the way around. I'm sorry.
Babe.
Unless it's just jokes.
I love you. So, did Neil Druckmann get this right?
And the 2021 Game of the Year is... It Takes Two.
Personally,
Bro, it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. And now I could... Okay, don't butcher me. I could see Ratchet and Clank, Metroid. I could see Resident Evil winning that shit too. A lot of people were probably going to say and gravitate towards Resident Evil Village, saying you got snuffed. I got to go on the vibes of just, it's fun, bruh. Like, yeah, Resident Evil Village is great. Don't get me wrong, it's great. It's basically another Resident Evil 4. So it's great. It's fantastic. But It Takes Two means something different.
To Ratchet and Clank, but overall, I think what Hazelight's doing with the
I love Ratchet and Clank. Not Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I mean, I love Ratchet and Clank in general.
Gameplay
playing that shit on PSP, PS3, PS2, whatever.
I'm not the most fun
wherever that game was at, bro, I was playing it.
Yes.
Guys, you got to do the three method. The three method. I would always do what my wife was like, all right, on 3. 1, 2, boom, she jumps. And it's just funny, bro. It's just, you just got to time it out.
Breaking news. My wife has asked me for a divorce, so that's not great. But make no mistake, this is an incredible idea. It has an incredible concept.
I'm sorry to hear that. If that's not a joke, I'm sorry to hear that.
I think a sequel to this would go hard. I just also think I'm not wired for this type of game, at least not yet. So for that reason, I'm putting it number 6. But now let's move on to a game that learned
Bro, no way you're keeping Sekiro at last place.
All of its peers in order to create something truly unforgettable. Welcome to 2020.
I don't even care what came out this year. It deserves it.
It deserves it. Jenna Ortega had that
it deserves it.
Stranger Things brings back that Kate Bush song, and Will
Sadie
Smith
Sink
does this.
Oh, wow.
You know what else I keep out of my wife's mouth? Elden Ring. She'd choke on it. That's crazy. Why would I do something like that? Especially in public. Let's play it.
Look, here's what makes Elden Ring so freaking special. At the end of the day, From Software took everything Breath of the Wild did, and everything people loved about Dark Souls, and somehow created one of the richest and most rewarding games I've ever played after hiring what has to be the slowest.
Hold on. I gotta get my shit off on this. The public, the public perception of Souls games, I am actually so glad happened, because people love to talk shit today about saying we have too many Souls likes, too many games that's doing this style. It's overdone. It's overplayed. Shut up, bro. Do you realize how long they've been putting these games out for it to finally pop off? For as successful and how much people love Bloodborne, that shit did not do waves in this industry for it, okay? For as much as people love Dark Souls 3, it did not push the wave and push the needle. Elden Ring literally popularized the Souls genre for everyone. People like me that was playing it for years already, we got to see our favorite genre or one of our favorite genres, or just seeing, it's like seeing your favorite movie or something finally get pushed to the limelight, and years later critics are just all of a sudden saying, hold on, there's something here. There's something here. You got people to play Souls games for the first time with Elden Ring. That's how good Elden Ring is. You feel me? That's how good Elden Ring is. Even if the genre isn't for you, you can't be that disingenuous. Elden Ring came out 2021, 22 or some shit like that. Yeah, bro, it's 2026. Has a lot of games come out that's trying to follow that style since then? Of course, but it's been 4 years. Talk to me again when it's been 10 years and everybody's trying to overplay it, okay? I don't care if you're feeling like it's Souls fatigue, bro. Get out of here. It's deserved. They've been working their ass off for like 2 decades to try to get this shit out, okay? So, from my perception, it's deserved. It's earned. They have worked their ass off, and From Software deserves to be a fucking trendsetter. They trendsetted with Sekiro. Why do you think so many games put in parries now? It's not just because all of a sudden they turned around and development and studios and publishers was like, we like parries. Let's that's a cool mechanic. No, nigga, they seen that shit was doing numbers and that Sekiro was getting fucking praised around the world. So they decided, all right, let's put this shit in every game that we put out now, okay? I do think the parry mechanic is a little overplayed, but they're trendsetters. From Software, Miyazaki in general, they just like such a fucking phenomenal mind to pick at. They earned it. Stop getting on every other company that wants to make a Souls game because they're good games, okay? Usually a company ends up falling short somewhere in their development cycle, but if we keep on getting these games, eventually you're going to keep on getting gems like Lies of P. For some people, I gotta replay it. I'll be honest, I didn't enjoy my first playthrough of it, but there were lots of aspects of the game that I really enjoyed. Wukong Fallen Feathers, Wukong, come on, Black Myth Wukong, for any, I don't care. It was an action adventure / Souls-like adventure. Get the fuck out my comments talking about it's not, okay? We got a lot of freaking awesome games from this era of Souls experiences. So if we keep on hating on it, people are not going to want to do it as much. But if we give them support, I'm not just saying blindly support them, but it's earned. And then we got them trendsetting with Elden Ring, Night Ring. We could get more Souls-like co-op experiences in the near future because of that. So let them cook, bro. Let them cook. It's an earned era. This is one of the few eras that I say in gaming that is truly deserved because they worked their fucking ass off and has put out critical acclaimed games for years for them to consistently get passed by. The first Berserker Kazan, another absolute gem from this era of games, okay? Let them put out some more of these Souls experiences. And yeah, we're gonna get some generic shit. But even the generic shit is still fun here and there. The only bad thing is that they just have bad systems sometimes. They don't polish out everything. But again, those will get weeded out. Just keep on. Devs, don't listen to what everybody's saying. Keep putting these games out. Maybe make a co-op experience. Try to build upon what Elden Ring, Night Ring did for the industry. And then let's revisit that, okay? I think they worked hard for it.
How the do you
It's only been 4 years. It's only been 4 years. You guys can suck it up. It's only been 4 years.
Now, while everybody and their dog has talked about why Elden Ring is so special, I wanted to bring a completely different interpretation on what it actually nailed. Because I think a lot of what Elden Ring did right is actually a response to what everyone in the video game industry was doing wrong. In fact, I'd argue that one of the main reasons that this game exploded in popularity is not only because it's amazing, it's because most open world AAA games were absolute.
And they hold your hand. Oh my gosh, so many AAA games just hold your hand. Elden Ring did not hold your hand. I'm so glad Elden Ring popularized things. I am so glad. That you could probably find something of me saying maybe I didn't like it at the time. Not Elden Ring, but like how it was popularizing things. But like, I don't care, bro. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I've had plenty of time to sit with it. Thank you, From Software, for popularizing the genre. We've gotten some amazing games from it. I don't care.
I'm once again.
It's been 4 years. I'm tired of people constantly saying, "Oh, since Elden Ring came out, everybody just makes Souls likes." Yes, bro, because it's earned. It is deserved. Y'all gonna make me crash out.
Looking at you, Ubisoft.
It's earned.
Things out, okay? I'm getting worried. But there's really nothing more to say besides that. The art, the world, the aesthetic, the combat, the bosses, and this horse. It's all amazing.
And this horse?
Like, I don't know who they have on their art team, but oh my god, did the devs cook. Every
They have
frame
gods.
is like a painting.
That's
Make no
who they
mistake,
got, bro.
This is from
They have
at the very
have
tippy
gods.
top of their game. So what did they do wrong? Well, I'll be honest, nothing. Because just like Sekiro, Elden Ring isn't trying to be anything other than what it is. It doesn't matter if you're talking about the controls, the UI.
The only major negative thing about Elden Ring that you could like definitively say is that it's an open world game. And all open world games suffer from the exact same thing. It's open world. And there's a shit ton of things to do with hardly any real direction of where you're going to go, which means that you could end up getting into a situation where you play the game for a while and then you drop it because you either feel like you don't know what you want to do anymore, or you feel like decision overload, or just in general, you're just having fun. You drop it, you come back to it. It doesn't really urge you to stay on the main path a whole lot. So some people just drop it, some people pick it up, whatever, right? It's an open world game. Sometimes you just play a game for a while and you feel like you've gotten your money's worth, so you don't beat it. That happens with a lot of people that play games, right? You play a game, you pay $60 for it, you pay $50, you might spend 100 hours with it, you might spend 1,000, who knows? But only you are going to be the definitive benefactor, and you're the only person that's going to really be the deciding factor on if you're going to continue playing a game or not. Some people spend $70 on the game and they spend less than 5 hours on the game and they say, all right, the game's boring, I don't want to continue on, right? But a game like Elden Ring, you might spend 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 hours, again, 1,000 hours, and just decide, all right, I'm just going to drop it. It's an open world game. You could just spend 12, 15 hours and say, I'm going to drop it. So it's not a negative per se, but it's just the genre that it exists in. It's not only doing Souls things because it's from that, obviously from that studio, but it's doing it in an open world fashion. So you get the downside of being an open world game.
The boss encounters, the way it moves, everything is uniquely FromSoft. As I play this, I just know someone's gonna type skill issue, and I want you to know, whoever that may be, I despise you. It's their DNA.
Yeah.
And once again, in this day and age, that is so impressive. So did the Game Awards get it right?
I love what they mixed in with Sekiro in this game too. There's a lot of Sekiro in Elden Ring.
This is 1000% in the running for the
Shout out Stray though. Stray was a cool game. Shout out Stray. Ragnarok was awesome too. Didn't play a Plague Tale Requiem. I have been meaning to play that. Horizon Forbidden West. Actually, I watched Jazzy Guns play a little bit of Plague Tale Requiem. Awesome creator. You know, from like Dwayne and Jazz, they used to like have big reaction shit. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I've played one of them with a friend of mine when we were still in high school. And he was playing it on his DS, I believe, 3DS. Xenoblade is an awesome RPG. I mean, it's just a cool RPG, but honestly, bro, RPG comparing, Elden Ring got it, bro. This is one of those years where it's like, it absolutely deserves it.
Game and still am probably nowhere close to beating it, but I just love playing it, which given how I did in Sekiro, I'm gonna take as a win. This game is like something out of
isn't
the
that
90s.
crazy? People say they don't like Souls games, but they fucked with Elden Ring so heavy.
He's reinterpreted for the modern era,
And I don't think that it's any easier
harder
either.
than Will ever did.
I honestly don't think it's any easier. Elden Ring did a great job.
New number 1, and it makes me extra happy given how I ranked Sekiro. Now, what we might respect more is this next game, because it's deemed as one of the greatest games to ever exist, and I've never played it.
Baldur's Gate
Welcome
3.
to 2023.
Holy shit, bro. This year had people fucking doing tricks on it for this game. And this shit had people complaining like out the ass. Oh, how did Baldur's Gate 3 win over Spider-Man 2? Bro, come on, bro.
I'm that captivated every
I'ma let him tell the story. I'ma let him tell it.
fan, no thanks to the Scandival, and Barbenheimer becomes a worldwide sensation. But do you know what else became a worldwide
You know what?
sensation?
It's the same shit that I was just saying. Options matter. Baldur's Gate 3 is literally the antithesis of giving a player a bunch of options. So being able to do a bunch of things is awesome.
Baldur's Gate 3, said to be so good it turns the common man British. Also, you'll note there's no physical release, and that is because it only released in Japan for some strange reason. So we'll be playing it on the personal computer as a dignified PC player. Let's jump in, shall we?
Okay.
Longer I make these videos, the more insane I start to go, so please send me all of your good vibes.
Yep, subscribe.
Let's hop in. Now, if you don't know, Baldur's Gate 3 is a Dungeons & Dragons tale about a group of folks infected with a parasite, causing them to work together and search for a cure before they turn into monsters. And what makes this game so interesting is that it's actually a sequel to games made by BioWare, the Dragon Age guys. Except this game was developed by a small team known as Larian, rapidly gaining steam for crafting insanely deep role-playing games, causing Baldur's Gate 3 to be their first huge mainstream hit. In fact, here's what it really
Mainstream
nailed.
hit.
Unlike most modern games, Baldur's Gate 3 starts immediately with what might be some of the craziest CG I've ever seen from a company I had never heard of before this game. There's dragons, there's squidlings, and if this is what Dungeons & Dragons really is, sign me the heck up. Every character had something unique to say.
He's a wizard. All they care about is power.
Every encounter caused something different to happen. And that's on top of all the
They
ways
took
that
so
they
long to
interacted
make this
with my
game, too.
character and the choices that I made. Like, I don't even know how you write something like this. But the main thing that they nailed, in my opinion, has to be these characters. One of my favorite games of all time is Mass Effect 2, and that's because there was such
Character
an attention
interaction.
to detail to every single one of them. Look, I loved it so much that I framed it. And if you want to do the same, just check out the links in the description. I got you. Causing me to never want to let go.
I have plenty of games that I would love to do that with.
But in a game, and I didn't even know I liked that back then.
It reminds me of that episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, when they accidentally create Professor Moore.
And playing Baldur's Gate 3, I get the exact same feeling with these characters. But I will say there were a few things I wasn't a huge fan of. There's just a lot to understand. The game plays completely differently to anything I've played before, with the closest being something like XCOM. But the thing about XCOM is everything works with cover in mind, whereas in this game, you're just kind of wandering all over the place, clicking things, trying to come up with unique combinations. And while I'm sure this is
And I will add, there's a mod out there for PC users that puts the game in third-person perspective, like over the shoulder. Come on, man. That's like S-tier
It's
modding.
incredibly intuitive for the Dungeons & Dragons crowd. For a newbie like myself, I have no idea what I can't or can't do, because the more I played, it kind of just seemed like I could do anything, which oddly made me feel like I couldn't do anything. So here's the big question.
It's decision
Did
overload.
Timothy Shalamala Ding Dong get it right?
And the game of the year is Baldur's Gate 3.
I'll be honest, I think all of us wanted Marvel's Spider-Man 2 to be the winner, but given how that game actually played out, I think the Game Awards actually made a pretty solid choice.
Those are some
for Baldur's
solid
Gate 3.
contenders right here. Solid choices right here. You know, I didn't really hear people talk that much about Super Mario Bros. Wonder. But to me, everything from there to the left of that, yeah, pretty solid choices.
Guys, that game was way too long. Like, I put a whole day into that puppy, and I feel like I didn't make a freaking dent.
Oh, yeah. You have people that have put 400 or 500 hours into the game, not beating it still.
Did I have a good time? Yes. Was it complex? Definitely. Was there a lot to chew on? Dear God, man. How did they even make that? It feels like something that would take 20 years to make. It's vast in a way that I wasn't expecting. So for that reason, I'm putting it above Overwatch at number 5.
And I'm curious, how much time is he actually spending with the game? He said a day, but is that 24 hours of game time a day? Or is that just like, I'm spending like 8 hours today with it because I have other responsibilities, you know?
Underneath The Witcher, because I feel like I need a decade to see everything this game has to offer. But you know what I can offer? A game specifically made for millennials using the power of nostalgia.
Oh, Astrobot, yeah.
Welcome to 2024, a time when Drake and Kendrick decided to give us the greatest year of rap I've ever seen, and this girl goes completely viral for exactly 2 months.
You gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
You know what else was incredibly popular for only 2
facts.
months? Astrobot. A game so fantastic and filled with joy that somehow, in this day and age, a small group of people
Isn't Astrobot getting a sequel
absolutely hate it.
or DLC?
Let's play it.
Guys, I'm just gonna gush out here for a second because Astrobot
Astrobot is another one of those games like It Takes Two. It's just pure
is
fun.
everything I love about Nintendo running on a console that's not a potato. It's made by Team Asobi, and what makes it special is that it's both a love letter to old school Nintendo platformers that have seemingly disappeared for whatever reason, and PlayStation's rich, insanely nostalgic history. Seriously,
Yeah.
if you grew up with either of
Before
these
they was
two,
a
chances
disgusting
are
company.
Astrobot will give you a type of joy I cannot even begin to fathom. It's like as if Nintendo hired Walter White.
And they've been like gassing up Astrobot for years too. Like even before Astrobot was like an actual thing, PlayStation has had like, imagine when you first log into the PS4 and when you first log into the PS5, they had like these things where you would play with Astrobot, like was it the Playroom or some shit like that? Like they've had Astrobot like stuff in the game for this whole time,
to craft nostalgia.
or in the world for this whole time. They just never made a full game for it.
You got me.
In fact, let me tell you what the game nailed. First off, it looks phenomenal. I mean, how could you not smile just looking at this? And the callbacks to old school and modern PlayStation culture is so
I love a good
well
platformer.
done that it actually just makes you angry that no other company is doing it.
How are Xbox and Nintendo not making one of these? It's freaking amazing!
But in my opinion, what makes Astrobot so special is that it's just a breath of fresh air at this point. Because for the last 15 years, video games have been overly obsessed with the world ending in one of 3 thematic.
And they've been overly obsessed with graphics. I keep on trying to tell people graphics is not the end all be all. This is a debate that I've had with my own older brother that I've spoken about in this video already so long. You cannot convince that nigga to touch Minecraft, bro. You can't convince him to play games that just look too bad.
Locations, shooty gun place, spacey star space, or Lord of the Rings with less steps. But this game, it's all about the vibes.
The vibes, bro. Video games used to just be there for the fun skis.
They added Ape Escape, guys. Ape Escape. I love Ape Escape. The world needs more Ape Escape. It's beautiful. And I know what you're wondering. Did the Game Awards get this right?
And the game of the year is Astrobot.
Now hear me out. DLC should not be in contenders for I'm sorry, DLC should not be in contenders for Game of the Year. Immediately knock out Elden Ring. I love Final Fantasy VII, and I love the remakes of them. Metaphor ReFantazio. I played maybe an hour of the demo or some shit, or hour or 2 of the demo. Never played the full game yet. Black Myth Wukong had me fucking doing literal flips in my house. That shit was gas. And Balatro is Balatro. Also gas. Astrobot is just pure vibes. Give it to them. If a game is out here for just pure vibes, it deserves it. I'm sorry. It deserves it.
Got it right, okay? I mean, how many freaking first-person shooters or third-person fantasy role-playing games can an industry possibly get? Balatro, you're amazing. Black Myth Wukong, you're also amazing. But Astrobot is pure joy, and the world could use a lot more of that.
Oh, on God.
Guys, here's the thing. Ranking through all of these Game of the Years is going to be completely subjective. People are going to feel
oh no, you're
certain
gonna get a
ways,
million
and that's
comments.
fine.
I mean, when I put this on YouTube, maybe I'll get a lot of comments on it, probably. But yeah, this video is impossible to do and not ruffle some feathers.
They're really special games, but there's
It's one of
always
those
gonna be
videos you just gotta
few
put out and say,
exceptions
"Fuck it,
that are
bro."
just special to certain people. And when it comes to Astrobot, that is that game for me. Everything about it just harkens back to the old days of games that just relished in, hey, we're in a sunny beach.
I don't know if he has
the
veneers,
world
but he
looks
has really good teeth.
colorful and beautiful, and it's not depressing. There's not guns everywhere. There's not bullets. It's just so refreshing in this day and age, and something that I personally wish would come back with a vengeance. So for that reason, I'm putting Astrobot at number 4. Is it our GOAT? Probably not, but it's one of my favorites. But you know what else I enjoy? Playing a video game with one of the craziest
We're at the
story
last one,
premises
too.
ever made.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2025.
The music in Expedition 33 is really, really good.
Levis jeans, and Katy Perry goes to space for some reason.
This is it. Our final game. Claire Obscure's Expedition 33. A game I've never played before. And after playing this game and spending a whole day with it, we're going to finally know which of these 12 Game of the Years is going to be our GOAT, aka the greatest of all time.
Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This game might have one of the greatest premises that I've ever heard. There's a giant number in the sky that seems to tick down every single year. And if it matches the age that you are, you die. Which forces everyone who's left to band together and create an expedition to try to save everyone else. But that's not the only reason that this game is so special. You see, in today's world, video games cost hundreds of millions of dollars and are developed with a team of sometimes over 10,000. But in the city of Montpellier exists Sandfall Interactive, a French studio with no more than 50 people, somehow creating this game under $10 million. But the cost of games is
10
one
million
thing.
is still
the
a
thing
lot
that
of
matters
money.
most is what it nailed. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you, it nailed a lot.
I'll be the first to say, because I know people love to just try to act like they didn't. Come on, bro. This is Persona if I've ever seen it. The turn-based nature of it, the third-person nature of it, having the dodges and the parries in it is a little added extra bonus. This is real-life Persona, basically.
Everything that you see
And
here
it works.
feels
It works
completely
really well.
unique, and most importantly, feels like something that could only come from this French
But
team.
I don't like when people keep on saying stuff like that. Oh, it's only something that could come from them, or they've never played a game like this before, or they've never seen a game like this before. And to your credit, yeah, you might have never watched a game like this before, but Persona exists.
The design of the world,
It's like the UI
you interact
is
with, and
the UI
incredibly
is just
unique
like
story
is entirely Persona
somehow creates something so interesting that kept me
to a degree.
captivated the entire way through. And this is on top of the fact that this team took traditional turn-based combat, which has pretty much been dead for decades, and somehow revitalized it, making it addictive.
I hope you enjoy
Persona, bro. Persona.
Wondering the many depths of this multi-layered game.
I hate that nobody gives it any credit. It's okay. You guys were influenced. It's okay.
Claire Obscure's Expedition 33 the greatest of all time?
This was a big
AKA
a big debate too.
And the game of the year.
This had the same debative talk, the same way that I would say it was along the same lines of Baldur's Gate winning Game of the Year.
Is mon ami Claire Obscure, Expedition 33.
To answer that, we have to look back at all the little breadcrumbs that I left you.
Now hold
because
on.
when we do,
Hold on.
we'll find
Go through what was the contenders
over
that
the
year.
last 12 years, we've moved to a world obsessed with handcrafting absurdity in hopes of capturing even just a fraction of the attention that you're told you no longer have.
Damn, Daniel, back at it again with the white van.
That was a greatest night in the history of television.
Spit on that thing. You get me? I wanted me to do that.
Damn, bro, the
Whatever
history.
I choose to be the greatest of all time has to not only hit, it's gotta hit every single one of us.
You can't tell me this is not the greatest.
It's not gonna hit all of us. It's not.
Because the true goats aren't the ones you choose, but the ones you find.
Mm.
When you least expect.
Very well told.
And that winner is Stage tuned, very tightly taped here. The winner is
Ghost of Tsushima.
Thanks for watching.
You're so good, bro.
Oh my gosh, bro. Bamboozled us. Bro fucking bamboozled us. He didn't even tell us. He bamboozled us. What do you think from that list that he had is the greatest game among them? If you ask me, let me see. Yeah, that's a hard one. Greatest game among that list? I think that the greatest game on that list.
Lights down low, but spirits so high. Game controller in hand, ready to fly. The nights our playground where time stands still. In this cozy nook, let's get our thrill. Pixels shining bright in the midnight glow. Leveling up in a world we know. Laughing together as the hours drift by in this gaming sanctuary.